right, welcome back for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to all of the new comics coming out this new comic book Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. This is my rundown of all the variants and incentives that might already be selling at a premium, some stuff you should be keeping an eye out for, some things I think you should pick up and read, just some other cool books also coming out, and just giving you a heads up of all the things you should be aware of when you go into your shop on Wednesday to do your shopping. Hopefully, you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing this channel. And while you're at it, if you're interested in other collectibles outside of comic books, go check out my other channel, Toy Informer. It's not just toys. I cover toys, other weird niche collectibles, talk about some sneakers, some cards, non-sports cards, that is, and a bunch of other things. I just had a new top 10 toys, talk about the top 10 Joker action figures to tie in with the underwhelming and underperforming new Joker movie. And I have the card show, and I'm planning to do a fun little show based around those collectible popcorn buckets that seem to be all the rage at theaters these days. So again, if you like collecting other weird stuff outside of comics, go check it out because I'm sure you will enjoy that as well. Now, if you haven't tried Whatnot before, first-time users, use my link below and you get yourselves a free $15 to spend on whatever you want with whomever you want. No strings attached. I may be doing a stream sometime soon just to kind of clear some books out as I'm cleaning up my comic book room, but you don't have to spend the $15 with me. You can spend it with whomever you like. Like I said, no strings attached. You just get to try out the format and see if you like the application, and it not only do you help the channel, you get yourself something nice in the meantime. So you really got nothing to lose just to give it a try. And if you guys are in the market, you get yourselves any supplies for your, treasured collectibles. You need bags and boards, you need boxes, you need top loaders for cards and or comics. You're going to be ordering from BCW. And if you are, use this code. Use my link below. Get yourselves a discount. Save 10% using code RENA10. Again, you'll help me out a little bit and you get yourselves a discount. So we're talking about a win-win situation here. Now, with all of that out of the way now, if you just want to see the rundown for this week's books, all you got to do is hang up for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, without further ado, let's just get right into it with my personal picks as we lead off every one of these shows with. These are the things that are going to be top of my pile. I can't wait to get a hold of, and some things I think the market is also paying attention to. Starting off with, I'm pretty sure by now you guys are all aware of Absolute Batman, right? Whether you like the design or not, I get it. It's not my favorite look, this huge, overstuffed, oversized Batman. I don't know how this dude moves, let alone, does the work of Batman. It is what it is. I will still admit, I am damn curious to see what this title is going to be all about. We're getting Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta, transforming the Dark Knight tale for the modern age. He's not going to be a billionaire, apparently, without the butler. Let's see. I'm curious. I will say I do have my complaints, but I want to see what it is. So I am completely curious and can't wait to get a hold of this. As you might guess, there are multiple covers here. I believe this one I'm showing you here is the foil, but it's with a trade dress. That is the cover A, which we do have here. Other variants as well. Multiple variants. There's also a ton of store exclusives because DC recently lowered their exclusive minimums. It used to be like 3,000 plus. Now stores can order only 1,000. So you'll see a lot more stores getting in on this exclusives game with DC. And you probably already noticed it with this title. So there are a lot. This book has already been, presented as having orders over 200,000 plus. Second print already on the way with multiple covers there. There's going to be a lot of these. So just get the one that you like to read. As I noted, we got these covers here. You got a blank featuring that all-in logo that you can get sketched up however you like. There is even a Jim Lee cover as well. Then that Jim Lee, as well as that cover A, get the foil treatment along with this logo getting the foil treatment. And this, apart from like this oversized beast man that we have being Batman, I really don't like this logo. That's not a bat. I don't know what you're looking at, but that ain't a bat. That looks like an attachment to a Norelco razor, perhaps, or something like that. But that ain't no bat. I mean, I don't know what it is. Well, why? It is what it is, though. That's the new logo. That's the new series. We'll give it a try. We'll take these foils. We also have incentives. Take the biggest one being the 1 in 100 by Jim Lee. But again, with a lot of those store exclusives, there's gonna be a lot of these out there. So just be mindful of that when you're out there shopping. But we do have the 1 in 50. We do have the 1 in 25 option as well. I actually really do like the 1 in 25, despite him being so huge. I think it's a really cool look there on that one. And it's probably my favorite cover out of the bunch, even with the Jim Lee. I'm just not in love with this Jim Lee design either. It's just kind of stagnant and meh. And I love Jim Lee. Don't get me wrong, but that's the one that seems to be standing out because it's the highest ratio incentive. So let's take a look at that. Early pre-sales we're talking about here and some early asks. We're seeing some early sales, $150 up to $200. Asking prices going up to $200. I think that's a bit extreme because, again, there are a lot of them. There are a lot of them. I told you the estimated run is already over 200,000. So how many do you think that equates to? Yeah, it's 1 in 100. You could do the math. You could figure it out. So with that, I think there's plenty of them out there. But it's your money. You do what you like. I get it. You want to collect what you want to collect. I'm totally on board for that. Just be wary before you go getting too early, too early, too soon with the FOMO. Because again, this book's not even out yet. It'll be out Wednesday. We'll see what shakes out once people actually get to their stores and get copies in their hands. Because right now, it's all just really preying on that. You're going to miss out. So let's see what happens. All right. With that, I'm biased. I say it every week, and every week that we have something, I admit it. I outrightly admit it, which is why it's in this Pete's Picks section and not anywhere else. But anything with the Energon universe right now is still there. So Scarlet number 5. Want to see how this series wraps up. I enjoyed it quite a bit. We had Storm Shadow, we got Ninjas, you got Jinx. And Scarlet. What more do I want? I mean, apart from seeing more Snake Eyes, but I like dragging, keeping things separate. Like, not too much too soon. So let's build. Let's keep building. Pretty cool cover A here. There is a cover B as well. That's not too bad. All of the covers are pretty solid across the board here. We still have the 1 in 10, the 1 in 25, and the 1 in 50, which is really close. I almost wanted to put that in my top picks for the covers. As you guys know, I do a short every week picking my favorite personal covers that I like. I almost put this 1 in 50 in there, but I went another way. This would have been number 6. This would have been the honorable mention, I think. But I do like the card back 1 in 25s and the 1 in 10s, as you know, are connecting covers. So here is the set. Now that we're done, boom, it all makes one huge, awesome mural, which I think is pretty cool. I love that, with Storm Shadow in the background there. And apart from getting Scarlet wrapping up this week, we are getting a new story arc starting over in Transformers. So issue 13 is kind of being treated like a new number 1 of sorts. So it's got a few extra covers outside the norm. We're getting a Secret Origin of Starscream, and there are even a couple of spoiler covers, which I think I get to spoil here because we've already seen the art. But here is the cover A. We do have, I think the spoiler cover is the B. There is a sketch cover. And then there was this late releasing cover that is listed as a 1 per at a lot of online retailers. So there might be short, and they might just be protecting themselves from people over ordering that last cover. But the spoiler cover here, apparently, if I'm looking at it, is right here with Omega Supreme. I don't know if you guys remember Omega Supreme. I do, because I do remember that one Christmas being a gift from Santa that I got, and it was my Omega Supreme. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, realistically, it wasn't the most ingenious of toys in the sense of it transforming and becoming something outside of it. It was a tank, and it drove around a weird little track. But at the same time, it was the 80s. That was really cool. And with that said, we do have other incentives here as well, including a new 1 in 10 starting a new connecting cover set. We have the 1 in 25 doing that 80s retro throwback that I absolutely love. I had to make sure I ordered one of those for myself because that is just a cool look for Soundwave. And then a spoiler cover on that 1 in 50. Now, what is the spoiler inside? If you don't want to know, then don't keep looking at these. They're supposed to be spoilers after all, but it looks like we'll be getting Megatron back. And that is a Matina cover, which is pretty nice. It's still going for a ratio or less, so it's not being sold at a premium or anything like that. Nor is the 1 in 100. This book actually has a 1 in 100 this time out, which we haven't seen since the early start of the run. But I kind of like this. I like this Optimus. It's really sweet, but it's a 1 in 100. So even paying a ratio price, I don't want to be paying $100 for a new book. It was enough, paying that extra little bit. I think I paid like 15 plus shipping for that 1 in 25. I don't like doing that more too often because it's a lot of money and it adds up pretty quickly. But it is a cool cover. That said, you could find it ratio or less out there. So if you're interested, go pick up what you like I did. Now, apart from that, you would think we'd have a huge reading list this week, but I think after last week, we're taking a step back. As this week, I've only got one book that I really actually considered on my reading list, and that's Geiger. Outside of the Energon universe, I'm a big fan of the Ghost Machine side of things. So Geiger, number 7, starting a new arc, is coming out. We have 3 covers here. 1, 2, 3, all open order. Pick the one that you like and just roll with that one. But that was it as far as like up-to-date kind of reading books go. I mean, apart from the Transformers of Scarlet and me checking out the Batman book. So, I mean, that's really only 4 books because the rest of these that I have in my Just Gotta Do It segment, maybe I can play a little bit of catch up now with some of this reading because with that light of a load, maybe I got some time for these because some of these I do really want to read, but I admit when I'm behind. And here I am behind with I think the final issue of Precious Metal. I was a big fan of Little Bird. I liked it. It's a lot of fun. And so Precious Metal is in that universe, but I haven't been keeping up. I have them all, but maybe I'll sit down and read it all in one shot now after I get the last. I think the 5th issue is the last issue. I think that's it. I don't think there's a number 6, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it wraps at number 5. And there is a 1 in 25 incentive here as well. Probably going to be pretty tough to find, just like the rest of them are. That doesn't mean it's going to be expensive or that it should be expensive. I'm just pointing out the fact that this is not the highest, moving title out there. So not a lot of places are going to have this on hand. That's all. It might just be a little bit difficult to procure. Not to say that they're not producing that out there. So, yeah, let me know. Let me know. I looked, no real movement, but again, no real copies available. So we'll see what happens with that one in the 1 in 25 realm. Outside of that, this is probably the poster child for my Just Gotta Do It. I'm not really loving the storyline. It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep collecting these because I am an obsessive compulsive collector, which I'm sure many of you can relate to that. There's a lot of titles out there you probably just get out of habit more so than enjoyment all the time because you got to admit, after hundreds and hundreds of issues, not every story and every storyline is going to be for us individually. Like you're going to try to appeal to a lot of different people. So you take the good and the bad, but doesn't matter. Throughout thick and thin, I'm still going to be picking up Amazing Spider-Man every week. Every week that it comes out. Remember when they were doing it? It was like 3 times a month? That was a chore. But here we got issue 59, Legacy 953. They're really pushing to get ASM up to that 1,000 mark. So we'll see if we get there. Tombstone again. So I'm just going to be getting this, but I'm kind of done with this arc again. Tombstone stuff. Just, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I don't know. At this point, so many Spidey stories. I don't know exactly what I want, but I just know I'm just not in love with this. A couple of other covers. I do kind of like the Uncanny X-Men 268 homage there with the Disney characters. But again, I'm kind of over that. Like they've done so many of these. It's just kind of becomes white noise after a while. It's just, okay, cool. Another one. I don't know. Then there's a Jackpot and Black Cat covers. Not bad. And don't forget, there may be covers I don't list here that end up in other segments. So that's why you may not see some other things here. But we do have a 1 in 25, which is an oddly suggestive, like, face-off between the two. Like, Tombstone seems really happy to see Spider-Man. I don't know. And then we got the black and white version of the Disney cover for the 1 in 100, which, again, remember when those were a thing? Those were a thing, if you can believe it. Now, nobody seems to care. They sell for like half the ratio price, if that. So nothing to worry about there. If you want it, you can usually get one. On top of that, out of all the new X stuff, you guys know I'm also an X-Men fan. I love the X-Men side of the Marvel Universe. I try to get as much of it as I can, but my patience wears pretty thin on a few titles. And Exceptional X-Men just didn't really hit. But again, I don't think it's targeted for me. So it's all right. It doesn't have to be for me. So I don't know how much longer I'll keep getting this. I might just see it through the first story arc, but I'll get issue 2 because I'm not going to give up after 1 issue. Just because I wasn't in love with the first issue doesn't mean I'm going to throw in the towel already, but I don't see this being a long-term book for me personally. So we'll see. But issue 2 comes out, featuring one of the newer characters, and then we do have a 1 in 50 version with a recolored outfit and a virgin version, kind of odd. And then there's also a pretty nice 1 in 25 there. So nothing doing as far as early pre-sales go, ratio or less. So if you want them, you can find them. Still rolling with the Ultimates. We're only at issue 5, so again, not throwing in the towel just yet, but it's meh. It's okay. Not loving it, but I'll keep getting it for a little bit. But here we go with the new Hawkeye, issue 5. A couple other covers here. I kind of like the Inhyuk Lee Hawkeye cover there. It's not bad. But other than that, there's a 1 in 25 if you're interested. Nothing doing as far as pre-sales go, so if you want it, you can probably find it. And also the Just Gotta Do It, because I actually haven't read the last issue since it came back. But I did enjoy the first run of I Heart Skull Crusher. I thought it was a lot of fun. But I am like an issue or 2 behind, so I just put it in the Just Gotta Do It segment because I'm going to keep getting them because I did like the first arc. I'm just not up to date on my reading with this one. So, yeah. So I admit, got to put it in here. Just got to do it. So issue 6 has cover A. There are B and C covers as well, and including a Virgin 1 in 10 and a Virgin Unlockable, which you can pick up. Now, the 1 in 10, you might be able to find it for like $10 to $15. So it might be up a little bit above ratio. We'll keep an eye on it as the week goes on, see if anything else shakes out. But the other one to keep an eye on is that Unlockable Virgin, because sometimes those can do well. As we've seen, you saw the Hello Darkness 3, how well that one did. But here, once early pre-sale, just $10. But then asking prices anywhere around $20 to $25. So we'll see where this one lands. I think this is going to end up more on the $15 to $20 kind of book, but and maybe not even stay there. I end up closer to 10 to 15, but we'll see. It depends on how good the story arc is and how popular the title becomes. But with that said, let's keep it rolling and get on to our new number ones. Usually the longest segment of this show, because there are a lot of new books every week. We're getting new number ones, one shots, miniseries starting up all over the place. So let's just get right into it. And one of the biggest offenders right now, just throwing out number one after number one after number one, Dark Horse. Man, Dark Horse just doesn't seem to stop. Just keep throwing out number ones. I don't know if we are seeing second issues to some of this stuff or not. I just lose track because there's just so many. But here we have Seance in the Asylum. All right. 1865, you got a medium, you got a hospital, horror vibes. Seems the spooky season could be in line. So if you're into that, give it a shot. $4. There you go. There's 2 covers here. This is the cover A. There is a creepy cover B. So like I said, if you're in for this stuff, especially this time of year, I might be interested in checking it out. There you go. But luckily, outside of that, Dark Horse is only giving us a Star Wars one-shot with that. So a High Republic tale, Stories from Beyond the Stormwall. Cool. I don't know. I've fallen way, way behind on my High Republic stuff. I will admit that. I just lost my momentum. I just couldn't keep up. There just seemed to be so many titles coming out, especially with Dark Horse. They're doing one shot this, one shot that, miniseries here and miniseries there. I just couldn't keep up with everything. Also, this isn't really a new number one, but more of a one-shot collected edition. So one might even venture to say I could have put this in the later printings area, but it's a newish version, so we're going to put it here. But Sandman, the Complete Shakespeare Collection, DC Black Label. It's going to reprint some classic stuff. 96 pages is going to cost you $10. But yeah, so you've got Midsummer Night's Dream from Sandman 19. You got stuff from issue 75. Yeah. What else is in there? Cameo on Sandman 13. So all things Shakespeare in the Sandman universe in this book for $10. All right, now to get some more of the new stuff. Surprisingly, this IP is over at Dynamite. I didn't know they had the rights to this, but Terminator. We're getting a new Terminator story out of Dynamite. All right. I mean, that's not terrible news apart from the fact that, God, we're going to get a lot of covers. And yes, you guessed it. We got a lot of covers. Once again, I'm not showing you all the versions of them. I'm not showing you all the weird incentive ratios, 1 in 5s, 1 in 7s, 1 in 10, black and white version of this, virgin version of that. I'm just going to show you the unique pieces of art covers. And then there's multiple versions on top of these. So here's the cover A. Then we've got a few other covers here. There's a Swaby in the middle, I believe. That's not too bad. I mean, pick the cover you like. I mean, it's Terminator, after all. We'll give it a try, right? And then there's a throwback classic Alex Ross, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, you know how Dynamite also reuses old covers and puts them in with this. You know, they'll throw a frame on it. I mean, they love doing it with the Vampirillas and the Red Sonias. So no surprise, we're getting one for Terminator. But it's cool art at least. So if you missed out on the first time of that Alex Ross cover, you can get this one. All right, what else do we got here? We've got IDW giving us a Monster High Halloween special. Once again, not everything produced out in the comic world is for me. It may not be for you, but it's there for somebody. So, Monster High fans maybe can get this a one shot for Halloween. Cool. $6. You've got 2 covers to choose from. Yeah, my son's watched some of this stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to get him the comic because, well, he doesn't care, but you know, like I said, I'm sure there's people out there who do. So they'll be able to pick it up. Just like those Sonic fans will be able to pick up the annual because they're bringing back the annual again. So the annual is back for 2024. We've got A cover, we've got a B cover, and we've got a 1 in 10 here as well. Same story. Early pre-sales looking for 10 to 15 bucks, maybe as high as 20. We'll keep an eye on it and see if there's any volume as the week goes on. But, you know, it is what it is. Some of these Sonic books, some of them go for a little bit more. Some of them just get ignored. We'll see what happens with this one. Let's go over to Marvel, who is giving us a new Blade #1, and it is a red band cover. So much so that it'll be polybagged, as you can see right here. Why? I mean, dude, you're getting the head split right there in half. I mean, that's gory stuff. I mean, it's not the goriest thing in the world, but point being, this is a extra step for Marvel. So they're really making use of these red band polybags. I'll tell you what, but New Blade #1, explicit content inside. We'll see how else they might push the boundaries here. But cover A, there's also a Gist cover where he's eating a heart. That's kind of cool. There's also a foil cover, which it's kind of weird. You're going to have a foil cover, but then polybag it so you can't even see it. So you got to open it to, I don't know, whatever. But they're doing it. There's a foil cover. And then there are incentives as well, including a 1 in 100 version of that Gist cover, which is pretty cool. The 1 in 25 ain't bad either, but the one that seems to be getting that early momentum is the highest ratio. So the 1 in 100, let's see, we've got some early pre-sales, 140 to 180, well above the 1 in 100 ratio. Though there is one listed, $100 out there if you want it. And then some of the others are looking for that 140 and as high as 270. Again, these are pre-sale asking prices. This is the time to fish. This is the time to see what the market will bear. We'll have to wait until the books actually come out to get a better sense of what the price is. But this is why we have them on the watch list, because we're watching them to see what happens. Up next, we have Conquest 2099. So continuing on that Annihilation 2099 storyline, just like we did the original, we're following it up with Conquest. Some of these new characters introduced, I guess, are coming back. We got the Red Hulk of 2099 and Dracula and what have you. I don't even remember all the characters. Remember, each one introduced somebody new each time out. This time we have the Impaler Scorned, and we're going to keep following it up, including a Spider-Woman of 2099. Okay. Guess we'll see. Guess we'll see what happens there. Not as many covers this time. No incentive either. We've got an A cover. We got a B cover with the Spider-Man head. And then we got kind of like a throwback. I was wondering if this was like an homage to something, but I couldn't match it up. It looks like an old pulp or an old like sci-fi magazine of some kind, but I couldn't find what it was based off of clear enough to say, hey, this is an homage. But it feels like it's an homage, but I couldn't figure it out. If you know, please comment down below because I'd love to know. But it is probably the coolest cover out of this bunch and might be the one that I grab when I get my books this week because, I don't know, kind of dig it. I like the throwback vibe. Oh, as I mentioned, the X-Men universe, lots of new titles there. And we still have another one coming. And again, not really looking forward to this one too much. I don't know why we're getting it, but we are. Sentinels. So, from the ashes, a new beginning. Who are the new Sentinels? Who cares who the new Sentinels are? But, I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. Just because I'm just not interested in the, in the setup. But, all right, they're going to go after Omega Red. I'm kind of curious. This character, wouldn't mind seeing here and there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm just, like I said, you never know sometimes. Just because I didn't ask for something doesn't mean it can't be good. I'm just not real thrilled or looking forward to this, but I will get it just to see what it is. So, Sentinels coming out with multiple covers. Here's the cover A. We got a B cover, C cover, a stupid logo cover. incentives, including a Virgin 1 in 100. As we're getting used to this. This is like the formula now, right? 1 in 25 and a 1 in 100. Boom. Bradshaw cover. I think it's Bradshaw. That's a pretty nice cover over there. But the 1 in 100 is not bad. Like I said, I just don't know if I'm really into this idea as a concept. But that 1 in 100, no pre-sales to talk about yet, but there are 2 listed asking 180 apiece. So we will see. We will watch it and keep an eye on it. See what happens. Rolling on, we've got Murder Kingdom over at Mad Cave. Looks like a weird labyrinth Cinderella type story. Once upon a time in a land called Florida. A lot of horror stories start that way, don't they? But we'll see where this one goes. If you're interested, again, this storybook kingdom horror kind of vibe seems to fit the spooky season, so this could do all right for itself. I kind of like this cover too, as the cover A. Then there's a creepy cover B, so if you want that, you got that option there as well. And see what it's all about. More horror on the way for the month of October. We have Night of the Slashers coming from Kevin Scott. I like Kevin Scott. He's a nice guy. He loves horror stuff, so this is probably going to be interesting. But Hill Creek's a lovely place to visit. We'll see. Welcome to Kill Creek, as you can see. So Night of the Slashers, probably going to be classic horror vibes running throughout this. I don't know. I'll probably give this one a shot because, like I said, I like Kevin Scott's work, and I know how much he likes the horror side of things, so I'm sure he did a pretty interesting storyline for this. So cover A here. I love the cover B. I put it in my top 5 covers of the week. This hack cover, it's got that old school VHS look. I mean, it even has the VHS coming out of the box and the old stickers for the horror section that it's supposed to be put in. 2-day rental, $3.90. I love all those little touches. I love the distresses on the box itself. He had me. So it is what it is. But I liked that cover. Apart from the extra vibes, I like the art too, with the reflection in the knife. I like Hack. So I like that cover. Put it in my top 5. But those are your 2 options for that book. We are also getting another book from Valiant. The new Valiant, tie-in to Resurgence, Tales from the Dead Side, Shadow Man, and Punk Mambo. Okay, these 2 go together. I don't know if we really need this so much, but okay, it's okay. You know, it is what it is. 1 cover here. You got a monster cover, not too bad. And then another option over there. Pick the one that you like. And if you don't like it with trade dresses, they do have all 3 versions in the limited trade dress version. This seems to be a waste. I really hope they stop doing this. Valiant, you don't need 6 covers for every book. DC does do the limited trade dress, but they don't do a regular version and a limited trade dress. They pick 1 book to have the trade dress and then do a couple of limited. So pick 1 book to put the trade dress on and then maybe put the other 2 as limited if you want. Then you have 3 covers. That's more palatable. 3 covers is still a lot for a title that I don't know if a lot of people are going to pick up, but 6 is ridiculous. Don't be Dynamite. Don't be Dynamite. Dynamite has their way, and Dynamite has their methods, and it works for them. They know what they're doing. This unnecessary. And our last new number 1 that I thought was worth talking about this week is well, I don't know about this one. Toxic Avenger. So yes, we all remember the classic films, and we probably will never see the new film because from what I hear, it's not very good and it may never be released. So there's that. I remember all the hoopla. People were picking up the original Toxic Avenger book, etc. But here we go with a new Toxic reboot. If you're interested, I don't know why he's got a tutu on, but I'm sure we'll find out inside. So the man with the mop, cover A. There's a virgin version of that cover, as well as a head in the waist, and then another tutu shot there. I don't know. I'm sure there's fans out there. This was never really my cup of tea, but I get it. If you're a fan, maybe you want to check this one out. I'm probably just going to let this one pass, but I still thought I'd drop it in here for those fans out there. Again, I try to run down everything, a little bit of everything, because it may not be for me, but it's out there for somebody. With that said, here we go to one of the segments that is also very, very divisive for me, and that is the later printing section. So let's just get right into it. Nothing really, ticking me off this week. We have a facsimile, Batman and Robin. I mean, I guess the Night of the Reaper. I guess it's for the Halloween season. I guess I don't know, but whatever. We're getting Batman 237. Yeah, 237 with a blank cover and a foil version. If you want for $7. I don't know how necessary these things are these days, but we're getting them. So if you're interested, there you go. For anybody who still hasn't read Cobra Commander, here's your issue 2, third print. I don't know. It just seems a little bit late to the party. Like, I don't know why we need a third printing for number 2 at this point, but okay, there we go. We're getting one. Still getting the reprints for Rook. Number 5, getting a second. Well, I mean, every other issue got a second print, so issue 5 had to get its second print. It's when we start getting into the thirds where I start questioning, like, really, do we need it? Much like the next book, Transformers number 6. Love the Constructicons. Devastator, cool. Yeah, not a bad cover, but do we need a third print for number 6? I guess so, because we got it. Not only that, here we go. Second prints for number 8. We got Ultra Magnus and a I can't think of the shuttle dude with the space shuttle name. I can't think of what his name is, but we got him too on the Decepticon version. I get it. It's still kind of necessary to do 2 versions of second printings, but I get the hook here. You got the Autobot version, the Decepticon version. Not going to rake them over the coals for doing that, or the Joe and the Cobra ones. Fine. It's when they add a third option or throwing incentives, that's when they start really, really overreaching. But it is what it is. They still just should have made these open order covers and not saved them for the second printings, but it is what it is at this point. They already run it. We're 8 issues deep into them doing it, so they're not going to stop now. Distillery. Again, I mentioned this before. I just can't keep up with all of these oversized, and I don't want to say overpriced because they're not overpriced. They are a high quality paper. It is a high quality product that you're getting for your money, but they are expensive. So dropping $8-9 on a new issue always gives me pause because that's 2 other books I either can't get or I could have gotten in place of this. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, they're pricey books, but you get what you pay for. Higher quality. And Life is getting a second print for that number 1. Brian Azzarello, pretty cool. Issue 2, I believe, is coming out this week, and it did have a couple of cool covers, including another one of my favorites. It was a Damp and Ocean. That was pretty sweet. I didn't put it in here because I'm not reading the title, and I was going to put it in a cover section, but it would have been kind of all on its own. So I was like, fine, I'm not going to do it. But go check out my little short video on Tuesday, and it'll show you my top 5 covers because that Panosian one is in there. But speaking of covers, let's get on to our variant sections. So here we go. We got no trick or treats this week for DC, and a couple of these I don't have as many. I think Storm Breakers only got 1, and well, there. Let's just run through it. Doom. We got our Doom variants of the week. Last week we had like half a dozen. This week we got 4. Starting off with Exceptional X-Men number 2. All right, pretty cool Dodson with Doom. I mean, the Dooms aren't bad. Like, the art on them is all pretty solid, I will admit. Including this one is really nice. The Fantastic Four one, you had to know Fantastic Four and Doom. It was going to be a nice cover. They did it here. I like it. And then we have a Phoenix. So Doom and Phoenix, not bad, right? And then finally, we have Doom and Venom. Okay. Again, they're all pretty good. They're all right. So if this is a set you're collecting, you got to be pretty happy with the results. Some of the Godzillas were pretty wonky and felt pretty lazy, but the Dooms, they've not been bad so far. All right. I mentioned Stormbreakers. There's only 1. This month we're doing Storm. So here we have this version of Storm with the Fantastic Four as part of Fantastic Four number 26, which that regular cover is kind of cool. It feels like a horror movie poster. But yeah, maybe I should have done just a regular cover section. I could have thrown that in there. Could have thrown that Panosian Life number 2 in there, and maybe another cover or 2 that just didn't really fit anywhere. But too late now. We're moving in. We're all in. And speaking of all in, the DC all in covers for this week. These are those white, or I think they're white foil. I still didn't see what the books look like. But these are the character-focused spotlights for DC all-in covers. Superman, obviously. We've got the issue of Green Lantern coming out this week. We got a Star Sapphire. And then on Batman and Robin, we're getting a Damian Robin on that one. So those are your books for this week. Actually, the Superman, I believe, was on Action. I forget what issue we're up to, like 1070 or 1090. I don't even know what the hell number we're at this point. But It was action, Green Lantern, or Green Lantern Corps, or whatever the hell they're doing, and there's Batman and Robin. With that, those are those covers. Homages. There were some mixed in here and there in other sections, but these two kind of stood out on their own. So I put these two here. We have Marvel Zombies, Dawn of Decay #2. Yet another Beta Ray Bill. But it's well done. It matches one for one pretty well. So not going to complain. It's just not new or unique. But the next one kind of is unique because we don't see this all that often. Ewoks. So Ewoks #1 to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Caravan of Carnage. Caravan of Carnage. I think it was the Caravan show, the whatever. But anyway, I almost put this in the new #1 section, but I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to do it here in the homage section because who cares about the other covers? This one's kind of fun. It's a nice little throwback to Star Wars '94. So I put this here. So grab it if you want. With that, we're going to move on to the complete opposite side of the realm and go to the cheesecake covers, of which we don't have that many this week, actually. It's kind of light, and it's a light week as a whole. If you didn't notice, we're kind of speeding through this week's show where sometimes we're tipping at about an hour. This one, we might get done in about 40 minutes. But here we are. This kind of toes the line with the horror vibe, but out of the Vampires, World War V DC books, this one kind of stood out. This is a Kunka, I think, did this one. I dig it. Just got a cool look to it. So we have that. We also have Lady Machina, another Devil in the Lake #2, giving us, yeah, sure, this cover right here doesn't seem all that cheesecakey, but then, you know, that's just kind of the title and the subject matter alone kind of fits that vibe. The bad girl kind of era of the 90s, still alive here. It feels with some of these books. So Joe Benitez, Lady Machina, is rolling ahead with this #2. Now, if you really want to get into the cheesecake side of things, then you're going to look towards these weird titles that toe the line between. We're going to give you weird anthropomorphic characters fighting each other and then just throw sexy girls on covers for no apparent reason. And that's what we have with Bunny Man's Furry Nightmare #1. We have to throw out the first two covers because they have nothing to do with this section. They're just weird and would end up in the WTF section if I didn't already talk about it. And I just want to do it every week or every month for the same titles. Yeah, they're weird, but you know, somebody's going to buy them. But here, you can see why this is the cheesecake cover fits the cheesecake segment. Then we got two other covers that kind of blur the line between the two as we have these weird characters. We got this penguin character over here, and these gals and almost like a burlesque show kind of vibe. And then this guy rolling on a plane. Yeah. Cool. I guess. Get him if you like him. Going back to last week, I think I mentioned this team up with Robin Hood and Mystere because some of the covers came out, but not all of the covers came out, it seems. So I'm just going to talk about it again. So whether this was out last week or this is one of the ones from this week, we've got this cover. We've got the Sonia Matas, if I'm saying the name right, in the middle there. A couple options there on the left and right. I think those are newer. And then that one in the center that's with the trade dress, which I rarely see the trade dress on these things. But then there is a virgin version for the 1 in 20, which again could be pricey. So keep an eye out for that. And then we have a She, Return of the Warrior. You guys remember She? Bill Tucci? Way back in the day. Still rolling. So here we go. Issue 1 of 2. Couple of covers here. And again, She, Bad Girls of the 90s. Living again, as I said. Cool stuff. Always had a nice design. And there was always nice covers on these books. And they still keeping that alive. So can't fault them for that. And finally, we have an incentive section. So these are not all like high price selling incentives. I showed you some of the ones that were kind of pre-selling a little bit. But honestly, the last few weeks, there haven't been any huge standout variant books where it's like, oh man, it's the hot book of the week. You've noticed I do the hot 10. And you haven't seen a lot of variants on there lately, have you? Because they're kind of easing back a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's just there's just nothing capturing people's minds quite as strongly as they were once in the day. And not to say that there haven't been any. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there are fewer and far between. That's all. But with that said, a name you've probably been seeing a lot lately because of the list, Mark Spears. because you got that Bridezilla cover that's just going bananas still. But here you go. Spears doing a non-sexified character with a Superman 1 in 25. You could find this for $10. So it's out there. But if you like Spears, you want to collect Spears, here's another option for you. He's got a clean style. It has that like painterly vibe, but it also does feel very CGI-y. So I don't know. It's cool, but if you get what you like. So if you're into this, I just thought this was worth talking about and worth pointing out. And like I said, it's affordable. So if you want one, you can get one for well under ratio. So keep an eye out for that. Phoenix. I mentioned Phoenix earlier, so issue 4 is coming out here. This is a pretty sweet cover on its own, but there is a 1 in 50, which is a virgin version of it. Pretty close. It's right around ratio. Almost put it in the pricing, but it's pretty much right there around that $50 mark right now. We'll see if it goes anywhere, but it is a pretty cool cover. I like the way that the Phoenix is playing it. It looks almost like wings, but it's not. It's almost like a side shot. I don't know. I dig it. I also like this John Boy. So John Boy Myers giving us a Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood number 3. This is the trade dress version. More than happy to just get the trade dress version personally, but there is a 1 in 100 virgin version that is out there. So if you want that, you will have to pay up for it, because right now that one had a couple of early pre-sales for $130, and that's just $300. I didn't go and dig in. There's probably an accepted price that's less than that. I didn't go digging into it, but there it is. I mean, that was at the end of August too, so that was a while back. But the asking prices right now are looking for like $150 to $160. Again, we'll see how this plays out as the week goes on, but early indicators are giving us something to track, something to watch, something to keep an eye on, to see if any more copies sell and if they sell for a premium. It may not. There may not be any to sell. Who knows? That's why we're going to watch it and see what happens. And I think our last book of the day, we have a Delato Venom. Man, remember when these were the thing? Everybody used to love these, and they're still pretty good. It's just we've just seen so many now, they don't almost become standard. But here it is, issue 38. This is the trade dress versions, which you can get for cover price. But if you want to pay up for the 1 in 100 virgin, prepare to pay up, I guess, because right now, with no early pre-sales, the asking prices are looking for $160, $190, $206. I guess people have missed the lotto a lot more on Venom than I thought. But then again, they're also not selling. They're asking, but not selling yet. We'll see if they do start selling and what they start selling for. So that's why it's on the watch list. We don't know what's going to happen, but these are indicators. These are things to keep an eye on. These are things to give us an idea of what to track. And with that all said, we're done for the day. That's my rundown for the week. Thank you for all the support. I do appreciate it. I am going to try to work in some of the old shows. Now that Baltimore's passed, as I said, I'm going to try to maybe do a Whatnot show, clear out some books. Again, just to kind of get rid of them. I just need to make space. I need to make space in here. And I'd love to redo my studio comic book room. And to do so, I don't need money. I just need space. But at the same time, I don't want to just give everything away. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I don't know. We got that coming. I will try to bring back some of the old shows. I'm thinking of doing maybe shorter versions, so it might be easier on my schedule to get something out as opposed to doing half-hour shows all the time. Maybe something shorter. Maybe I might do a shorter version of Chasing Ghosts, a shorter version of Dollar Bin Digging, just because it's been a while since I've done those. I do miss doing those, but I might just have to tighten them up and do them a little bit shorter because, again, free time is at a high premium right now, and I got to do what I can with what I got. Especially when I have that toy channel to deal with. And like I said, gotta have I just did the Joker top 10. Might do Harley Quinn this week. Probably do a Venom one before Venom comes out for the top 10 toys. But also other show ideas, like I'm going to do that popcorn thing. I got that set up. I do that one for later this week. Want to get back to doing the next volume of the Marvel Impel cards. I'd love to do another Gaming Gold. Tons of stuff I'd love to do. Just got to find the time to do it. But with all that said, sorry, I don't want to keep you here. Just me rambling on of all my to-do list stuff. But hopefully you're on board for all of it, as I can't wait to do it all. And I'll see you all later with some more content. All right?